Let's get into this contemporary ballot because I think it's an interesting one. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Carlos Delgado, Jeff Kent, Don Mattingly, Dale Murphy, Gary Sheffield, Fernando Valenzuela. Let's start with the two big ones, Ethan, because they're probably the two most controversial. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. I have steadfastly said the guys that are part of the steroid era belong in the Hall of Fame. And I understand that that's not for everybody. I understand that there are a lot of people, especially some older folks, who believe in the integrity of the game, that say that they cheated baseball and they don't belong in the Hall of Fame because they didn't do it honestly and earnestly and fairly, which is fine if you believe that way. I think that the inverse is, when it comes to the steroid era specifically, that it was perpetuated by Major League Baseball. Bud Selig allowed it because baseball after the 94 strike was really desperate to find viewership and was really desperate to stay relevant. So I think it was something that was perpetuated by Major League Baseball and the ownership group that was done to allow the game to grow back. In a sense, steroids in a roundabout way kind of did save baseball. I don't know what would have happened without the steroid era. I don't know if baseball would have existed. Baseball would have existed, but I don't know if it would have existed in the sense that it does today, where it has found a resurgence because they finally found a way to market it again. When it comes to the steroid era, those players, did they take in performance-enhancing drugs? They certainly did. Was it fair to the rest of the league? Probably not. Was it perpetuated by the rest of baseball? Absolutely it was. And I think when it was convenient for baseball and it was convenient for Bud Selig, they threw all those players under the bus when the Mitchell report came out. And do I think that they probably should have acknowledged that they did take performance-enhancing drugs? Yeah, they should have. I think it probably would have gone a long way to like retribution or like a repairing of the relationship between these players and the fans and the players in the league. But in this individual instance, I shouldn't say individual instance, but in this momentary instance of a decade's worth of steroid use, I think that because of the league's allowance of it and kind of turning a blind eye to it and almost feeling like they encouraged it in a backroom handshake type of deal, you can't tell the story of baseball without Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds may be the greatest hitter to ever walk the planet. We talked about Shohei Ohtani being the greatest player to ever live. Barry Bonds is the best hitter, I think, to ever play the game. I think Barry Bonds, without steroids, we talk about this old cliche all the time, without steroids, Barry Bonds would have been a Hall of Famer. He probably would have hit somewhere in the 400 home run range. He probably would have stolen 400 or 500 bags. He would have been an elite defender. He was a Hall of Famer in his own right. With that being said, when you think about baseball and you think about the shift in power game and you think about elite level players and you think about 7 MVPs, Barry Bonds' name is etched across baseball forever. And whether you want to have a steroid era wing or you want to have an asterisk wing or whatever it may be, because of this specific circumstance and case of circumstances, I think you can't tell the story without Barry Bonds and the story of baseball without Barry Bonds. And because of that, even if you want to have a separate thing for it, I have a tendency to say I would vote for all of the steroid era guys that are Hall of Fame worthy, which brings us to the next guy, Roger Clemens. 7 Cy Youngs. Was he part of the steroid era conversation? Absolutely. Again, should he have probably been a guy that made the effort to repair that relationship? Probably should have. But in the instance of Roger Clemens, much like the instance of Barry Bonds, you have the all-time Cy Young winning leader and the all-time MVP winning leader in an era that was basically told to go do it. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, go do it, go save baseball. Roger Clemens was an elite level pitcher before it. He took it to the next level, allowed for longevity in his career. Again, it's another guy who I probably would vote in if I had the opportunity to.